Uh,
Yes.
Hello, friends. It's a pleasure to be again with our super friends, Super Condors from Chaos Pilot, and they are going to share the abstract of the amazing experience that they had here in the Amazon. We are really, really happy and very with the how do you say with the expectation to see all the ideas that they have developed during these days during the days in the Amazon and also in Lima and in Peru. Thank you, masters. Please.
Thank you. Thank you, Bruno. Well, well, we can quickly introduce for the people who doesn't know what we have done. So, as you know, the challenge has been to test out if creating an educational node on the floating fab lab can create and provide revenue for the floating fab lab to make it sustainable. And that's what we have spent the 5 weeks in Peru testing out and researching as well. And the outcome has been this report, which we have shared with you, Benno, and also some maybe also some of the rest of the team, who shows our insight and also a possible solution of what can be done. You still there, Benno?
I'm here.
Oh.
Yes, sorry. I turned off my camera and my sound, but yes, I am here.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. But so we were actually thinking, Benno, that now we hope that you have had a chance to read it through the report, or have you not had time?
I have reviewed all, but not in the detail. But will be great if you can maybe share us a fast overview about the report. Will be great.
Yes, surely. So obviously the report is divided into different sections, and
do you want me to share the report, or maybe can you share the screen to see the report?
Yeah, we can. If
it's also in the
Google Drive.
Google Drive.
Yeah, you could share the link now.
Can you share your screen to see and to show to Delia and other people that are not present today?
Okay.
Here.
Yeah. I'll send this one. Here you go. Audio text. Okay.
So basically what we came up with as a proof of concept is something simple that would make approximately
cover 15% of the operational cost for the floating fab lab.
Yeah, so this is using education as a main activity for for the floating fab lab, and we come up with an implementation plan. And what we're suggesting is that you guys create a 3-day design thinking workshop, and you can use whatever type of design challenges you choose. But the idea is to bring more entrepreneurs to Fab Lab Lima or the Floating Fab Lab to teach them these new business skills and to also generate revenue in the beginning for the Floating Fab Lab. We wanted to expand to include more types of activities and a larger institution that is sort of like our school here, but we figured for the sake of this report to make it very clear and easily implementable, we would just focus on this design thinking workshop that we propose in the report. But aside from the report, part of the plan is an implementation plan, and we have 3 years listed. The first year is a bit of preparation before you launch the workshops. And what we saw based on the organizational models in the drive was that there are not really any team focused on education. And so we really encourage the rest of the teams to come up with the people who are actually working in education and sort of form a collaborative team around that. And one of the main organizational changes that we would suggest for the Floating Fab Lab team is to sort of maybe restructure or at least make a new diagram that shows who might be able to work on education and why. I mean, we hope that you understand that education actually makes most of the money, it seems, for Fab Lab Lima, and we are encouraging the Floating Fab Lab to follow that same route of using education as the main financial asset of the lab.
And Benno, if you just quickly go a bit up again, like there's a model, which is the business model canvas. If you go a bit up, yep. Oh, you were there. Just a bit, yeah, that one, exactly. So this one is kind of an overview of how this concept is structured, and it describes, if you see in the right side, top right corner, you have the customer segment, and basically what we found out is we wanted to see if students alone in the Nikitas could provide enough revenue for the Floating Fab Lab, but this didn't seem, this was not viable based on the research we made. Based on the workshop we have carried out in Nikitas and also the interviews we have done. So what we've done is that we have integrated another segment, which is the entrepreneurs in Peru, who has the money and also has the need. So these are the two customer segments that we suggest to focus on. And in the middle you have the value proposition, so what they get out of it. And there you have the experimental learning, you have that, you know, they take part in the industrial revolution, you have the ecotourism, and also that they learn a new approach to ideation, project management, and so on. It's listed in the model, and also it describes further in like what is the revenue streams, what is like the cost structure, where's the money being spent, the relationship to the customer segment, so like the relationship to the students and entrepreneurs, and also further into who is the key partners and the key activities that has to be, you know, continually done, which is, for example, you know, you have to continue measuring the impact of what these workshops create. Obviously, you have to teach design thinking, and so on. So this is like an overview over how this concept, this product actually works, or at least our suggestion and recommendation to it. So, Benno, are you still
I
there?
think he's muted.
Oh.
Yes, sorry, I was on mute.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So please continue, please.
Yes. Okay. Then. Okay. Maybe we should. Do you want to go through and then we can talk about questions afterwards? Or for
Okay.
example, would you want to go through maybe this business model canvas to ask into? I mean, if this makes sense for you, like if you understand it.
Yes. Well, here it's for global people, right? Or is also local? What is there a difference between local and global customer segments, or?
We have recommended, so the students are local students of Iquitos.
Okay, and this is the global. Okay. Yes.
And entrepreneurs is the national. So like, I mean, we start recommending, you know, entrepreneurs in Peru, but obviously it can be open for entrepreneurs from other parts of Latin America. But to begin with, just trying to focus, you know, in Peru, and then you can always expand. That's also part of the implementation plan of expanding the customer segment. But to begin with, entrepreneurs in Peru and local students from Iquitos.
Yeah.
I think that using the resources that already exist in Peru would be a good choice and a way to keep the information local and to help develop Peru, the whole entrepreneurial community. So we did focus on Peruvians first. However, of course, there's the opportunity to include Fab Lab people from all over the world. I mean, we all share the same common language, so it would make sense to also include this program for them. But this is just the beginning, and it's an experiment in how to make money on education instead of it having to be this burden, that a lot of people bear or have to seek grant money for. We think that to prove that you can, generate revenue is so strong, and it's possible, and that's kind of what this school does. Is it proves that there's an alternative way.
Perfect. So, do you suggest a special kind of entrepreneurs?
Well, I mean, we have made a customer segment example. We have made 3 personas or archetypes. So if you go down to page number, let me see,
21.
Page number 21. Then there's 3 personas who we in detail describe, like who could be potential customers for this workshop.
Yeah.
And this is also based again like on the people we have had in the workshops, in the 3 workshops, and also from talking like the surveys and the feedback we have received.
So I think mainly people with a science background. However, if they're social scientists, that's a bit different. And also we've learned that the greater variety of people that are interested and show up, actually the greater solutions come out of the project or the workshop. So we didn't want to focus too much on finding like-minded people, because it's the beauty of having a diverse group of competencies that really supports the design thinking process.
Great.
So
what about okay, perfect. So the idea is to focus in this target, and they are going to pay for something, or they are going to be involved in a special program that integrate all these kind of skills, or we have to create something like a special program for each one.
No, wait. So the workshop, it's if you go, I'm not sure if we do it the best possible way now, but we have made, so there's a section called the sales concept, and the sales concept, it describes this 3-day workshop, and it also says that we recommend to start with participants, so 12 entrepreneurs. You can integrate also the local students, and the audience can be bigger. But like to start, we'll have 12 participants, so it won't be individually for each customer, but it will be like a class, if you can say that.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The main product here is just design thinking. We realize that you can actually keep it very simple and sell what works best. And I mean, design thinking is a buzzword not only in Europe, but obviously in Latin America also. And so for us to capitalize on this movement, you could easily sell this now. And the page that you're on there with the colored hexagons is actually the competitors. So there are very few competitors in Peru that serve these design thinking workshops. However, the workshops offered at UTEC and beyond, they're nearly 3 times the cost than what we're suggesting. And the point is that we brought the buyer price really low to secure the fact that people would sign up, because you would obviously sign up for the cheapest course imaginable. And then the only added cost is that they would need, if this is in Iquitos, then you would need to fly to Iquitos and also pay for the accommodation. But that's on the student. So what you offer is else to get there. But the opportunity in the future comes entire experience once you have the manpower. However, we kept it simple to say that someone needs to run the program, and someone needs to, again, keep in charge of the participants, and that's really the main activities there. So it's a very simple way to make a lot of money, or at least a significant amount of money.
Yeah. And as you can see also in the picture, it says that the price for the Floating Fab Lab workshop we recommend is $450, and that's based.
How did you estimate this amount?
Yes, so that's basically so if you go into the appendix, there is also the results from the surveys that we have done. I'm
sorry, where can I find this?
You go down to page, that's in the appendix, and it's page appendix.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, 46. If you go down to 46.
So we took the answers from the surveys, and we asked each person, how much would you pay for this workshop? And
yeah, that's the one.
Based on the results, we separated entrepreneurs from students and found the average.
Yeah, so the average was $92, so approximately $100 for a 5 or 6 hours workshop that we conducted. So we said, okay, if they're willing to pay around $100 per day, we multiply that with 3 days, that's $300, and then considering the context and also the access to digital fabrication, we recommended $450, and it seems like a price, and also based on the feedback that is that the entrepreneurs are willing to pay. So
it's a close estimation of what it would cost to not only offer the access to the prototyping materials at the Fab Lab, because we know it costs money to use those, but then also just mainly to cover the cost of the person running the workshop.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Does that make sense to you, or do you have more?
Yes. I would like to also, do you see something is, I mean, the workshop in the jungle also, if we are talking about the Floating Lab, includes the accommodations, flights, etc. This is a periphery cost, right? It is only to consider to the training cost,
yes,
but we have to increase the accommodations and other costs.
We wanted to keep it separate, to keep it simple for you. However, we do think that the future is to make this inclusive package, and that's why the ecotourism sits on the business model canvas as a value prop, to say that this is something that you could do, but if you don't, the minimum viable product still gives you $450 per person.
Nice.
Yeah, and you can use part next.
How many people do you think, or have you estimate how many people it's the minimal for the sustainable workshop?
Yeah. So if you go down further, number 47. Then there's basically 2 operational budgets, one from year 2 and one from year 3. The first year, as said before, is our recommendation is restructuring and so on. So the operational budget for year 1, when you start the workshop, we have said that based on 12 participants, if you have a workshop twice a month, with a 12 participant each, that would create $10,800 US dollar.
Yeah.
And we believe this is possible.
But what you need to make this happen is, I think, to start prototyping before the Fab Lab launches, so that people know that you provide this. And so in the year leading up to the launch, I think you could gain awareness that you make this thing, and then people could travel for it. And also, this budget does not reflect the peak tourism in the Iquitos area, so that is something to take into consideration, that you might charge more if there's a peak season, or you might have perhaps more participants if you think that you could manage that. So you could make even more money, but perhaps make less money in another month. We haven't quite managed to calculate that in this budget, so just know that it doesn't reflect that.
Yeah.
And what about the marketing and advertising that I can see here? Which are the channels to promote the project or the workshop?
The channels?
Yes, the channels that you suggest.
Yeah, so in terms of marketing plan, we haven't been able to dive that much into the marketing plan because we first of all need to understand the customer segment, and that's where we spend a lot of time on figure out the customer segment. But if you go to, let me see, the marketing plan, I believe there's market analysis.
It's 27.
Number 27?
27.
27, yes. It's sales concept. Sales concept, isn't it?
Yeah. It's right underneath it.
Yeah, perfect.
So we encourage just to keep it simple and make a web page basically that has your vision and some stories. These stories could come from video, interviews, testimonials, sort of people who are beginning to prototype or take this prototyped workshop. We've gained a lot of material over the past few weeks, which I'm planning on editing and sending to you guys. And we think that could also be used directly to market the design thinking workshops. For instance, the very last workshop we held, we actually had someone who had only seen the post on Facebook, and she signed up just solely based on the fact that she was curious about design thinking. So she saw design thinking and she said she couldn't miss out. So just the word itself is a good buzzword and could be used on social media, I think.
Yeah.
Mostly.
And as medicine recommends, like our proposal is to make a web page will also be used as the booking system. So that'll be the place where people can book their their 3-day course. And also our research also revealed that the 4 other sort of competitors, if you can call them that, in Lima, they don't really have any good like CEO, so like or SEO. So it's really hard to get any kind of information. And when is the next workshop? How much does it cost? What do they actually sell? So we believe that making a very clear website with all the dates and all information and the price, already that would be a very strong channel to get customers.
Yeah, it would put you at the top of the hit list on Google and other search engines if you have the right content coming in and also just a bit more description on the project. So I mean, being first on the top of the search engine would be great, not only for the workshop but for the Fab Lab in general.
Yeah.
To have that connection would be cool.
Nice. Let me maybe I would like to invite to our friends. Maybe someone else have questions.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey guys.
¿Alguna pregunta, maestros? I have many, but I would like to invite more people.
Oh, hey, Gabby. Hey.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Well, I can't be in when you start the presentation. Yes, I don't have question now, but I'm going to hear all the recording, and maybe I can write questions for you and send you, by email. Okay.
Yes. This is the canvas. Maybe it will help to a general overview, no, about the project.
Okay.
For example, what about the participation of the technological companies? Because a lot of technological companies are interested in the project, and maybe they could be part of this process, or they
In,
have to be part. No? Where the I don't know if you have located in some place.
We need to make a second business model canvas. So for the sake of this 5-week investigation, again, this is the very minimum that you need to provide to make money. So we suggest starting simple so that you're not overwhelmed. But when you feel ready to take on the next step, of course it would be to reach out to companies and offer them 12 spots in this design thinking workshop, or to have them bring a challenge and then use the workshop itself to create a solution for the
Exactly.
company. We think that's very strong. However, we're a bit worried to throw all of that, all of those requirements into this plan without having any educational operational team to really own up to it. So we figured it wouldn't make sense at this point to go so big and to open the scope up if the team resource is very limited. So again, we think it's possible, but it requires a bit of restructuring of the current team, or maybe to find a few more members to join on and take advantage of this.
Yes, and how here is included the different research group that we have, no? I mean, education, bio, conservation, etc. How is included in the process?
So I think we need to figure out how can we utilize the competencies of each group and focus them around education. We think that, again, education is the main resource that we have. You have the incredible personnel, the capabilities of the team, and their knowledge as to be teachers of this knowledge would be extremely beneficial for not only the workshop but just for the collaboration.
Yes, and if you also go down, Benno, you can. If you go down to number 14, page 14, we also made a organizational analysis where this also kind of comes up. Both our recommendation of how to, or at least our recommendation to restructure, also organizational-wise, and to focus on education. This description there on page 14, starting page 14.
So this was created mostly for our school side to understand how we saw the floating Fab Lab, but we also see that just by observing, navigating the Google Drive, and then also talking to a lot of the team members, that the way things are now are maybe not the best way to operate. So there's no easy way to send an update to the teams. There's no easy way to keep track of what everyone's doing, and updates, I think, are really the key there, because you're in such a fast-changing environment that we would encourage you to find a way to update everyone and keep people aligned and make sure that the vision is what do we say? Consistent throughout the teams.
Yeah.
And something that we encourage in the report is to use a project management tool. There's one called Trello, and that you create storyboards, and each person can have a storyboard or create a board, and you can either assign the tasks to people, or you can assign people to the tasks. It's depending on you how you want to use that. There's another one called Taiga.io, and it's an open source project management tool, but we think having something to complement the Google Drive would really help.
Perfect.
And maybe I think maybe it makes sense if you go down to number 29. We can actually talk about the implementation plan. It's like a quick overview of what we are discussing.
Which number? Sorry.
29.
29.
29. Yes. Because that kind of gives you an overview of the implementation plan that we recommend. So as you can see, like we have 3 years. And if you look at the first year, which is the little green boat, the first step we recommend is to implement protocols and also reorganize, as mentioned. So the protocol is just like maybe making the management tools such as the Trello or Tiger. And then the next step, to be able to start this workshop, is to create partnerships in Iquitos, which I mean you already are, and
something that we couldn't do in this report and cannot completely commit to yet is carrying out this ourselves. As you see in the business model canvas, we have Chaos Pilot alumni there, and we kind of see that as either us or the vast network that we have contact to who already have these skills, and it would take little to no preparation for someone in our network to jump in and to start this workshop. So it's just a matter of having the floating Fab Lab before we could actually invite these people. But in the in the next year or so, it's sort of at least my task to help assist moving this forward and to elaborate on the plan that we've presented to you here. So for instance, we have that company GIZ, G-I-Z,
yeah.
and they are here in Germany, and it's not a far travel for me to go and have a discussion with them about potentially sponsoring a few of these workshops to get them up and running and using the challenges, I guess, that they might provide us with. So that's the first sort of attempt at partnerships that we could directly see in the future. Yeah.
That's great. Really amazing.
we haven't written it all into this report for the sake of our school. However, wow. There is a bit of commitment that we would like to give at some point to this project in terms of making the educational team.
Yeah. A lot of information.
Yes, no, very nice. I'm really surprised and happy. Well, not surprised because I know you are your masters, but very nice, very helpful information and points to start also a discussion with the rest of the team, and also to see with the different groups how to empower the vision and the proposal that you are presenting today. Maybe for next step, do you have it in a drive or in something like an editable version? I mean, to add comments or something like that.
That would be great. Yeah, we can send you an editable version.
Yeah.
That would be helpful to invite everybody to add notes and something like that.
Great. Yeah. That's super helpful for us too to
yeah.
see how you think this could be embellished even more.
Yeah.
Great. That's great.
Does anyone have questions?
I'm sorry?
Questions?
Oh, yes, please. What do you say, friends? Do you have more questions?
If it's hard if they haven't been
Maybe none.
Please, questions.
No, I don't know. There's no questions because we had to go over the document. I think I have been checking it. I'm in page actually 14, something like that, and it's really cool the work that you have been doing, the analysis that you have been doing about our team and things like that. And I think there are things to be developed based on your proposal. that, for example, I have a question based on the way that you propose as a management organization, a open source software or something like that. You propose Trello, or as the other one that I forgot the name. We started using this year, like first in January and February, we use Asana. But for a while it worked, but then people started not using it, and we decided doing it by emails. We have been working on several types of communication channels, like for everyone to be updated and everyone to get in communication and things like that. But there's a point in which everyone's like very enthusiastic about using these types of platforms, but then we go to the traditional platforms that is an email or using WhatsApp or something like that. So I don't know if you have some additional recommendations based on our previous like experience using these platforms, because I have noticed that we start with really good like expectations, but then we like flatten out. So I don't know if you have anything else to add to that.
I mean, I think you know, the more we engage across teams, the fresher the commitment will be. And we've written in here that maybe something that could be started would be to publicize a goal on a website somewhere for all of the teams to come together for the Floating Fab Lab and agree on a goal for the year. And to have it public makes you take ownership over that. The fact that someone else knows about your goal might make you work a little harder to reach that goal. It creates some ownership and some expectation, and maybe that's one way to increase the collaboration. And in increasing the collaboration, you realize the utility of the tool itself.
Yeah, and I mean, because I've definitely had the same experience, and also using other tools is like Slack. In the beginning, it's awesome and everyone loves it, and then in the end, it kind of fades away, and you go back to other communication platforms like Facebook. But I'm thinking one of the things, because we have used Trello as well for just for this 5 weeks, and I'm not sure how long you said you started using it in the beginning of the year. I'm not sure how long you used it for, but one thing is obviously really trying to, even through the hard times, to really try just to stick to it and not sort of like fall in. And the other thing I would say is that we really tried, maybe not every day, but at least maybe every second day, or if you put like once a week, that everyone sort of, you go through the whole system. So like through Trello, and you make sure that everything is updated, and you kind of made an you go protocol. So you make sure that everyone, okay, are you still working on this? Are we updated? So you kind of revisit maybe together like once a week when you have your meeting anyway, to make sure it's updated all the time, because that's one of the failures I've seen, that it hasn't been updated, and then people have been, oh, okay, then I won't use it anyway.
Yeah, okay. We'll take it into our account and try to solve it, because I think that's the key, to have everyone updated and to know where we're headed, and that will be really, really helpful. So thank you for your comments there, and I'll continue reading.
And it will also probably be valuable to have the conversation around what works for the team, what works for every individual in the different nodes. So you together can map out how the team work, and based on that also look for other ways of doing it, because there is no real way, or no a correct way of doing these things. But since you're also working in so many different time zones, and it's difficult to meet up every time there is a problem and stuff, it's very crucial to have a platform where people can get updated also when you not meet.
And to know people's preferences, on that note, to say that, okay, well, Norella and Gabby love using Trello, but Kako would prefer an email. So as long as everyone knows what you check first and foremost, it's okay. You know that, okay, maybe Kako needs an extra email, so we can send that to him. But the rest of the team maybe is updated on Trello because they use it all of the time. But just to have that list of preferences so you know where people can be expected to read the information might also be the first step.
Yeah, and I just have a last thing. So just like reflecting on it in terms of these management system is that, thinking about it myself is, when I have sort of my profile and I have my task, under my name, I can think. I mean, I know what I should do, and that's why I don't have to check Trello, or update Trello every day because I know, I know what I'm going to do. So for me, it's just a waste of time to use Trello. But what you have to think is maybe the mindset as well, that maybe it's not as much only for you to know what you're doing, but that other people can see what you're doing. So like also working with the mindset of you don't necessarily use Trello to know what task you're doing, but to show other people what you're doing. So that you can share and get this understanding of what is actually going on in the organization and what are the other 10 people doing. So it doesn't only become for your own sake, but actually for other people's sake as well. Maybe that can help.
Yeah, I think that is helpful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Nora.
Thanks. Well, I think we could give you guys some time to read through this, and then we can send you the editable version, and then you can share back with us any additional edits or questions that you have.
Yeah, it seems like the natural step to actually read through, because before that I think there's so much information that that you guys can look at, and then after that we can maybe have talk by email.
Yeah, but I think for now, Sir Beno, we want to emphasize the fact that you have a crazy amount of work to do.
Yes.
All day, every day, and we really encourage you to build your team and to let the team take on a bit of the tasks. Just because we want you to have a proper night's sleep, and otherwise we will publicly shame you with pictures of you sleeping at the Fab Lab upright. I'm mostly kidding.
Yes, that's very important. And well, you are like a mixture between a condor and an angel, no? Again,
Okay.
Beautifully.
it's like or you are like Andean angel. That's mean a condor, no? And I really appreciate a lot your passion, your connection with the project, with the jungle. I really would like to see more picture about you playing in the jungle in the report, or maybe like an appendix.
Yeah.
It'd be a long appendix.
It would be great, because it's not only about it's also about the it's important that it's the business model of it's very very important what you are talking about, but also we will be interesting to see the social impact, no, of the project and in a short experience as you have experiment, no? For example, the playing with the kids, etc. How to introduce a little bit this Amazon and social conservation will be interesting also in the structure of the proposal. I don't know, maybe it's not about the focus that you want to be, but I think will be interesting for a new vision about the business model too, no? The social impact. In this sense, we can also work with a local team in order to put these inputs. And also, yes, it's our work today. No, we have the balloon in order to put all the feedback that different people have. I think will be a lot of ideas and questions about your proposal that it's very helpful for us. Well, we have also some strategies that we have been working about, and we will try to also to connect. No? For example, this idea to see the lab as a big incubator, no? Where the most important is not the workshop. The workshop it's a way to incubate something, and no, but it's very important. It's a key part of the operation. But at the end, the workshop have two products. No, one is the transformation of the mentality or no, of the people about the conservation of the world, and the other product is the products itself. No, we are creating new models, new business models inside this one, and also we are creating new products. And that's the reason why we need also the support of government and especially companies that are very sensible with this kind of vision. Yes, I think these are the most important inputs that I consider for the project. And your proposal, it's very, very helpful. And thank you so much for your patience, Super Condors.
Yes. Thank you, Ben, and thank you for giving us this opportunity along with the rest of the team. It's been amazing experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Master. Well, I don't know. Maybe Ilaria want to say something.
Me? They have it all under control.
Yeah.
Yes. Maestra Hilaria, queremos oírla, así sea un instante.
Bueno, I hope I'm a bit sick, but I'm sorry that I arrived late, so I didn't hear from the beginning. And what can I say? I'm in the as I already present myself some weeks ago. I'm in charge in the edu sector, so I'm very excited, and it's grateful all the work that you are doing. So congratulations, and if you need helps or anything that I can apport from the edu side or as well design or whatever I can apport. Just now I'm a bit sick, but I will be getting better soon. So
Great.
Count me.
Thank you.
All the best and get well soon then.
Thank you. And thank you for your proposal.
You're welcome. And for you and also for you, Benno, and all the rest of the team, I mean, don't hesitate to be harsh on a report, because we really would like to either elaborate. I mean, don't hold back, and I don't assume you will. But we really want to make sure that all our finding, that you understand everything we have made. So if you have any question whatsoever, email us, and we'd be more happy to elaborate and explain, and we can have a talk about it. So don't hesitate to ask questions or be critical. It's also part of our learning.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, perfect. So thank you very much, and to maybe to end the meeting, I would like to share you a very also a very great news for the project. Can you see my desktop?
Yes.
This is a new image of the project.
I like it.
Boom.
Awesome.
It also was working with a bridge between the designers and the group, the Floating Fab group, and the connection with indigenous artists.
Nice.
Yes, she's Olinda. Olinda, she comes from Chipibos community, and she teach us about the how to create an Amazon iconography, what are the patterns that she used, etc. And all this process was part of the creation of the new image of the project. We are going to share more details about it. Sorry. And this Sunday, we are going to relaunch the new image of the project in the Day of the Environmental.
Nice.
Perfect.
Love it. We'll share it on our end.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for all this amazing good news, my friend.
Thank you, Benno.
Thank you for having us the last 5 weeks.
Yes.
We forgot to mention that we bought our tickets, so we'll be there tomorrow, and
we hope you'll pick us up from the airport.
I'm sorry? Where are you flying?
We are arriving tomorrow in Lima. I hope you're picking us up.
Is really? Is right?
We're kidding.
No kidding.
Don't
We want to see you panic.
play with my hair, please.
No, but we'll see you soon.
Yeah, for sure, Beno.
Hope to see you soon. I have a very nice. It's very nice news for the jungle. Not directly for the Floating Lab, but for the jungle it's very nice. I told you about this special village in the center of the jungle. It is Masomari, is the village of the kids, ¿no? La aldea de los niños. We are flying in 2 weeks to visit this special place where more than 800 kids from the jungle, coming from the poorest areas of the jungle, has been going to training in technological skills, where we are looking for the implementation of a new fab lab inside, and also a partnership of the construction of new vision of technology in the jungle. I mean, the program that you are creating will be scaled in the future to not only for the floating lab, also for another regions in the Amazon too. No? Will be great. I will share you more details about this project.
Wonderful. Yes, that's our plan. We made something that hopefully could be replicated.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, but it's extremely valuable. And yeah, we want to be supports for you. So for the team.
Yes.
So I think we all just now need a little summer holiday, summer break, and then we will be interested to get back in touch and see what's the future challenges and how can we provide in another way.
Perfect. Well, I hope you all guys please come in soon. And I know that we are going to meet all together again for sure for the beginning of the operation of the Floating Lab,
Yes.
where we are going to do a special session with this guy.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I hope you, Ilaria, all the Condors team, of course, Peruvian team, Norella, etc., and also our friend Paul that is connected now, and everybody for the beginning of the operation of the lab,
Yes.
where we are going to do a special session with ayahuasca. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Well, friends, thank you so much. Thank you very much for your.
Thank you.
I'll be in contact with you soon with videos and stuff, but we just finished the report, so now it's time to transition.
Perfect.
Hi guys, I want to see you again. I want to see the project, yes.
Let's
And
go.
I hope you continue involved with the project and all the process. You know that it's a large road, yes, but it's great. We have a lot of work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, but it's good work.
Yeah.
Bye, Norella. Bye,
Bye,
Paul.
guys.
Bye,
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye, bye.
Gracias.